3 years ago, people crossed the street to avoid me. My name is Daniel Carter. I was the man who lost everything: my business, my money, my reputation, even my own confidence. I remember standing outside a supermarket with only R17 in my pocket, trying to decide whether to buy bread or milk for my daughter. Behind me, two men who used to shake my hand at business meetings started laughing. One of them whispered loud enough for me to hear, "That's the guy who used to act rich." They laughed like my life was a joke. What they didn't know, that moment was the day I decided my story was not finished. And today, those same people line up to shake my hand. But let me tell you the truth, because if you feel broken, ashamed, or like life has knocked you down, this story is for you. The man who had it all. 5 years ago, I was living the kind of life people dream about. I owned a small logistics company called Carter Freight Solutions. We transported goods for retailers across the city. Nothing huge, but enough. Enough to buy a nice home. Enough to drive a decent car. Enough to take my daughter Emily out for ice cream every Sunday. Emily was 8 then. Her mother had passed away when she was 3, so it had always been just the two of us. And everything I did for her. At night, she would sit next to me on the couch and say, "Daddy, when I grow up, I want to be rich like you." I used to laugh, but life has a strange way of humbling proud men. The fall, the collapse didn't happen slowly. It happened all at once. One of my biggest clients suddenly canceled their contract. Then 2 trucks broke down in the same week. Then the bank called. Then the bills piled up. I tried everything. Loans, borrowing money, working double shifts, but the numbers didn't lie. 3 months later, my company was bankrupt. I had to sell the trucks, then the office, then the car, eventually, even the house. The hardest day of my life was when I sat Emily down and said, "Sweetheart, we're going to move to a smaller place." She didn't complain. She just hugged me and said, "It's okay, Daddy. I just like being with you." But I could see the disappointment in her eyes, and that broke me more than losing money ever could. When people turn on you, when you're successful, people love you. When you fail, you discover who people really are. Friends stopped calling. Business partners avoided me. People whispered when I walked into stores. One day, at a restaurant, an old colleague saw me and said, "Daniel, I heard about your company." Then he smirked. Business isn't for everyone. That night, I sat in my car for almost 2 hours.